front side of the back side of the week now on the squat was our heavy squat day. The bar speed's very slow. Now we're on the speed side of that continuum. And so now you saw a lot of the resistance coming from the bands. So we have the large bands on the bar. The guy is setting the weight. It's a lower weight than he's used to back squatting, very much lower. He's setting it on the pins again. He's having to pre-tense, 1001, 1002, and then put load into the bar as fast as possible and stand up as quickly as possible. In some cases, you saw some of the lighter guys, McCluster, actually jump with the weight. But the idea is to get that bar moving as rapidly as possible in that initial surge. And what we're measuring with the Tendo is how fast that initial surge is. That time to peak force is the most important component to that particular lift. So not necessarily the weight, but how fast can you reach peak force, and that needs to happen earlier than later. And the offset of that is some flexion rotation. And so now we're into some of our cable chopping. And so putting them in a position with their feet on the ground, now we're stabilizing the core with some rotational torque. It's a kind of an Olympic lift for the core, offsetting some of that brute extension with some torquing and some flexion. So you saw a guy in a split stance. We progressed all the way up from a guy kneeling. So he went from kneeling to split half kneeling to a standing base position to a standing split, and you even saw some guys in a split lunge position now. So we're really putting him in a sport-specific position and then throwing torque through a very stable rotary component around the flexion system. Lower reps and sets, talking about more of the explosivity of it and the stability of it versus seeing how many reps we can do on that particular movement. Offsetting that with our warrior. Why the warrior? Well, I want that hip flexor to be there, and I want it to be strong, but I don't want it to be tight and inhibiting my glute. And so there's a couple of pretty big glute dominant things going on there. I just did some chops. I want to make sure that hip flexor is not trying to help me stabilize my pelvis on that chop. So I'm getting him out of the equation. We'll be calling on him later on, not during those particular exercises. But we did 2s today on the box squat, and then we were doing 3 sets of 6s, I think, on the cable chop.